let me get this straight. This is the 4th Rambo film. It came out in January of 2008. And not only was it not shit, but it was actually really fucking good. Like, the second best movie in the franchise? Damn. Well, I guess that's what happens when you get the man himself to direct and star. Just like Rocky Balboa. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cynical Sane 77, and we're talking Rambo 4, or Rambo. Or John Rambo, as it's called in the... This is one of those movies that has multiple titles, just go with it. And for those of you that don't already know, I wasn't exactly a fan of Rambo 3, so... Yeah, that movie pretty much killed the franchise for a good while. Until around 2007, when a 4th one was getting put into production under the codename John Rambo. And then I think it was, last minute? Before its release in 2008, they changed the title to just Rambo, making people think it was a reboot that just happened to have the same actor. Well, it's not a reboot. This is a sequel. And I'm glad to say that this movie is fucking awesome. Like, this is the Rambo movie that I was personally waiting to see. Not as good as First Blood Part 2. That movie is on its own fucking pedestal in this franchise. Like, it is here, and then the rest of the franchise is about here. This is great. The rest of these are either good to shit. And this movie is good. Very good, as a matter of fact. I can't say it's great, though, because it is very flashy. And it has some problems we need to talk about. So let's go through all the problems first. Then I'll dive into the stuff I absolutely love about this movie. So, my first problem with the movie is it's flashy. It's very flashy with its action, very hyper-violent, very hyper realism, and lots of fucking shaky cam, which is annoying at times, but sometimes it's better than others, and it's really just the opening scene that has the worst shaky cam. The other scenes actually don't have that much, so it's not as bad. So there's that. This is definitely the most violent and gory movie in the Rambo series that I've thus far seen. I've not seen 5 yet. And some of the acting from the other characters that aren't Rambo and aren't the soldiers he's sent out with later on are very hit or miss. I wasn't a big fan of the girl. I didn't really like the army because they were very... Well, obviously I'm not supposed to like the army. They're pieces of shit. But, I mean, like, they felt very one-dimensional. Very one-dimensional villains. However, it's not outright insulting like it was with with Rambo 3. Rambo 3, it was outright insulting and bad. I don't know why I forgot to turn on my Do Not Disturb again. Shit. I keep forgetting about that. Try this again. That's better. And the writing definitely isn't as strong here either. And as for Rambo himself, he is still very good here, but I feel like he's a bit restricted. Like, we don't really get to see him kill until almost halfway through the movie. And while this movie definitely has standing around talking scenes, unlike 3, they're not entirely fucking pointless, which is nice. But they do drag on a while, and the movie does have a pretty slow pace. Like, it takes a while to get to the real action, and the real action doesn't start until the final battle. And by then, it kind of just feels too little too late, you know? But at the same time, I kind of feel like that was the intention with this movie. It's not all about the war, it's more about what's happened to Rambo since the events of 3, and, how he gets drawn back into yet another war that he thinks he shouldn't fight, but is convinced to do it anyway. That's really one of my big negatives with this movie. The writing isn't as strong, the fucking shaky cam's obnoxious, and it's very, very flashy. That's really my only big 3 complaints, though each of them do count at least 2 points against it. Like, But like I said, the shaky cam eases off when you get halfway, and then the rest is just as is. Now for the rest of this movie, which is actually really fucking good. The other acting from the main army group that Stallone is put with, as well as Stallone himself as Rambo, are all really fucking good here. Like, they're all really good, and I actually ended up really liking the army guys a lot more than I thought I would, because when I first saw them come in, I'm like, oh no, here we go. We're gonna do the generic army man shit with no dimension or personality. But they actually surprised me. They were all actually quite likable, and when minor spoiler alert, one of them dies, it is effective, and it does make me feel a little sad. So, yeah, that part was unexpected. The action itself, while it's flashy, is very fucking good here, like I said. Most bloody, brutal, and violent Rambo movie up to this point. Like I said, I have not seen 5 yet, and I'm not going to see 5 until Saturday, because tomorrow, I'll talk about it at the end. But yeah, the acting is still really good here. The writing's still mostly good here. I love the storyline they went with. And I think they took Rambo's character in a really good direction here. And I also really did like the ending, which would have been satisfying to end the entire series on. And until about, 2018, 2019, it was the finale. And it was a pretty satisfying finale, you know? He got to go home, and he's going to see his dad. And, well, we never see him see his dad, but we see him walking down the trail to go see him, and you know what? It feels like a satisfying conclusion. Not to mention all the deaths here are mostly well deserved. And like I said, this movie is definitely very violent and bloody. If you have a thing for gore, you're gonna love this movie. If you hate gore, you're going to puke whenever it's on screen. There is heads on spikes. There is decapitation. There is evisceration. There is people getting shredded in half with machine guns. There's limb amputation, there's faces getting smashed in, heads getting blown to pieces by sniper rifle bullets. Like, it's bloody as fuck. It is bloody as fuck. Like, there's even one scene where Rambo outright rips out a dude's throat. Like, it is brutal as fuck, but it is brutal as fuck in the best kind of way, because for those of you that know me, if you've watched my 31 Days of Horror reviews, I'm a gore hound. I love this kind of shit. And it does actually have substance to go with its flash, so it's not just all flash with no substance and a pain in the ass to sit through. No, this one has substance, this one has purpose, and after how shitty Rambo 3 was, pretty much completely ruining my day yesterday, this was a much needed breath of fresh air. I fucking love Rambo 4, and I think it did a great job at putting the franchise back in a more positive direction. Because think of it, up to here we had First Blood, which was decent, First Blood Part 2, which is fucking great, and then we had the piece of shit that was 3, and now we're back to really good with 4. So, it is on the lower ranking of the series, but I still really enjoy Rambo. I definitely think that 4 is probably the second best movie in the series, and while it's not as great as First Blood Part 2, it's still a pretty kick-ass movie. Final verdict for Rambo 4 is going to be a 7 out of 10. If it wasn't super flashy, and if the writing was a little better, and if some of the acting from some of the other side characters wasn't very hit or miss, and if it weren't for the fucking shaky cam in the beginning, I would be putting this higher. I would be giving it an 8 and saying it's on par with First Blood Part 2. But as it is, it's still a kick-ass Rambo movie, and you guys definitely need to see it. Watch 1, watch 2, skip 3, and go straight to 4. Because, trust me, 3 doesn't have that much bearing on the plot here, and outside of flashbacks, it pretty much has no purpose. So, you can still skip the piece of shit that is Rambo 3. So, yep, that's my recommendation. Watch 1, watch 2, skip 3, watch 4. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and that's the only video we have for today. But tomorrow, oh man, buckle the fuck up, because tomorrow is going to be busy, busy, busy. Because not only do we have Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods, finally, but we also have 4 albums to review. Yes, 4, All Time Low, Pop Evil, U2, and T-Pain. All 4 of them are dropping an album tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm going to be busy as fuck, to say the least. And for those of you asking, yes, I do plan to do a song reaction to the new track from Avenged Sevenfold. So, yeah, you might have that coming your way either today or sometime tomorrow, or at the very latest Saturday. So, yep, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for Shazam 2.